Okay everyone, welcome back to our Catane channel. Today, we're going to be clearing the Centurion.
Yeah!
Woo! So, our first step is to... Oh.
Well, this is awkward.
Well, while I've got you guys here, I have some Squip results I need to host. Could I talk you guys into helping me out?
Fine.
Alright, what's up, First Slugs? Today's gonna be an awesome episode because the entire High Octane Fedoras team is here hosting. I'm IRDM and I mess up skewed slots.
I'm Biss, and I mess up most medics.
And I'm May, and I mess up Battleship.
We defuse bombs for a living, so before I reveal the rest of the leaderboard, I want to share the fun fact that all 3 of the responses that contain the word bomb survived this round. So it looks like we did our jobs and nobody exploded. Yay! Anyway, we got an astounding VPR of 39.76, somehow beating the previous episode again. And this was in no small part thanks to our 33 incredible super voters. Not Goatman, Average User 11, Imaginary Neon, A Random Contestant, OG Frag, Dry Ruins, J-Dude, Lutzboy, 6381, Stealthy Septile, Shimmering Stars, Patient Meteor 74, Cyan OSC 13858, Raziki, Strinatos, Melon Slice, Everest NC, Thundercube, Fargield Alt, Connor the Gamer, Kpan 400, Fluffy Donut, The Plagued Corvus, Frozen Noob, Helios Axitro, Quickster, PC36 Thorn, A Lot of Ants, Stefan 12387, Thick Ant, Unby Hexium Fan, Jokingly Evil 56952, Natural Splatnadian Enemy 1234568. Alright, now for the podium. This response was actually winning by almost 10% at about 15 VPR, and it slowly lost its lead as the votes kept pouring in, so I thought it was going to be surpassed. But it held on by 0.5%. Congratulations to Cynthia, who said, "But you're so drunk you can barely walk." I know, that's why I'm gonna drive instead. Just a 20th% below them, in second place we have Vera Karas, who said, "This Roman restaurant's so realistic." "Hello sir, what's your order?" "I'll try the Caesar salad." Ow! Ah! And in third, for the first time ever, we have a former 2-lifer in the podium. Marbles32 said, "We're snowed in and we're running out of food reserves? There's literally so much cotton candy in the walls." You see, the joke is that asbestos is delicious and kills you. In fifth, we have our first former 1-lifer to ever prize. Lufei Kui says, "I think this says, warning, high voltage electricity?" Me learning to read Braille. In eighth, we have the Golden Goat, who said, "Thanks for the warning, Mr. Zookeeper, but I think you'll find this snake is venomous, not poisonous." In ninth, Sergeant Snivy Alt makes the only acceptable pun response of the round. "I don't envy you serial killers. Your occupation seems pretty cutthroat. Good enough to not kill me?" In 11th, 78,000 Ants gets meta with "Narrators suck." Immediately after saying this, they were gruesomely attacked by sharks because they're stupid and also wrong. In 16th, we have exclamation point A, who said, "Midwest Tungsten Service has great delivery services. I heard they can drop your order to your exact location." In 19th, Cyan BM6SZ says, "I'm getting this frickin' Sprite even if it kills me!" 2.5 seconds before being crushed by the vending machine. Just outside of the prize zone, TV.wav says, "I'm not having a stroke, you're having a stroke. I'm doing fine. I feel fantastic. Ist struck clap." Lego Birds 8 in 25th says, "It was in milligrams? You know how hard it was to get a megagram of cesium in water?" 2016 BMW i8 says, "Hey guys, today we're going to test this brand new rocket launcher I got from Temu for only $14.99. Mazwat got massaged by a 5,000-ton train, MJK got assassinated by the CIA, and Argonth said, 'What's at our door again? I'm sure we'll never be assaulted by washroom furniture. Let that sink in.' The Upgrader in 33rd said, 'Okay, so before I pass away, I would like to thank BetterHelp for sponsoring this funeral using my code.' Monochrome in 35th said, 'Why do they call this stuff quicksand? I mean, it doesn't even look like it moves that fast.' Mario Fan stuck a fork in the waffle iron. Leopard Sun thought rat poison would be safe for her since she's not a rat. Twee accidentally found and got shot by extraterrestrial life. And Sanjay woefully misunderstood what guillotine means. Pink Bunny encountered en passant, holy hell. Punish Chubby Emu nukes themselves. Yeet says, no mom, don't charge your phone there, I need that to be plugged in. And Thundercube says, okay, so when you say you're going to stab me, is that like a metaphor or what? In 54th, Sandstorm said, my mom cuts my power at 10:30. There's no way this electric chair is gonna work. In 60th, Stealthy Septile said, hey guys, look at how long I can hold my breath. Unga Bunga III, inventor of asphyxiation. Series in 65th had the second shortest surviving response. Open wide, here comes the airplane! In 67th, Natalie manages to survive with another throw. I love petting kitty. Little did I know, I was petting evil kitty. Hawk2a Burger Helper made a time loop response. Croby Sharp said Pokemon go to the polls. Swa put metal in an MRI. And in 75th, we have the shortest surviving response from Lee. The worst she could say is no, right? Since these are supposed to be their last words, this kind of implies that the person didn't get the chance to ask her out and just got immediately murdered for unrelated reasons, which I find even funnier. Coco Quartz said, what are they gonna do, shoot me? And got shot. Clover Pepsi glued her mouth shut, God bless. Goobry cried wolf too many times. And Eero had my favorite response of the round. I don't like Taylor Swift music, I promptly posted on Twitter. Not Goatman manages to survive while accidentally including his own name in his response. And that brings us to our final 8 safe spots. If you haven't been mentioned yet, cross your fingers. The last person safe is... Shimmering Stars. Tragically, a random contestant places within 5 spots of the death zone for the 3rd time. This gives him the second lowest standard deviation of score out of every contestant who's responded to every round. I'm rooting for you, man, and it hurts so much to see the final result be this close again. Anyway, here's the rest of the people who died. If you see an X next to your name where the heart should be, that means you lost your last life this round and are eliminated. Doesn't mean you're not funny, it just means this particular group of voters didn't jive well with your sense of humor. Or, in OG Frag's case, you messed up the word count in 2 out of 3 rounds. May and Biss will now read out a few of the zestiest dying responses for your listening pleasure.
In 105th, quote, the incident, unquote, says, falling downstairs. Ouch, oof, oof, oh, ouch, ooh, ugh, oh, yow, ouchie, oof.
In 110th, J-Dude, who says, ha ha, dude, this round's responses are so funny, they make me want to merge without looking. In 116th, we have 4 Dice, who says, hello dear, I noticed that you've gained weight recently, so I bought you this treadmill. Is that a knife?
In 121st, Tyle Campbell said, hey Siri, how long is Cheese Whiz good for? In 133rd, H2 Roshan says, I love AI art. I don't care if it's quote-unquote weird. Send tweet.
134th brings us Destiny, who says, parachute? I thought you said pair of shoes.
In 157th, Squippery45 says, time to go to work. I sure do love living in New York. The year was 2001.
In 177th, we have Egglet, whose final response was, yet again, drugs.
In 179th, Kalekvetch says, counting or not counting gang violence.
In 186th, Reach Aim says, chicken tender.
In 187th, Fickle Dickle Doo says, counting or not counting gang violence.
In 191st, we have Jokingly Evil, who says, I'm casting it.
In 197th, this Eldritch Abomination says, please vote for me. You can have this $25 Roblox gift card if you do, please. 6 crying emojis.
Okay, so now that you know who all lost a life, let's see where that leaves us. Due to the absurd amount of DNPs, 138 contestants... sorry about that. I think my co-host has the plague. Anyway, 138 contestants died this round, only about 40 of whom died due to placing in the death region. We now have 57 3-lifers...
Meow. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow.
Alright, unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to our wonderful co-hosts for now. We have 57 3-lifers left, 39 2-lifers, 87 1-lifers, and 140 0-lifers. If you're still alive, you're in the top 57% of the competition. Yay! Also, now that signups are closed, we have our official final contestant count, 323, just one short of a perfect square. It would have been 324, but I got informed last minute that someone responded with the wrong email this round and they weren't actually a separate late joiner, so I merged them. Thanks, Goobry. In other stats news, here's our new top 20 in NRs. As you can see, 4 separate contestants have prized in every single round. I Am Stonebone, Chad, Sable Eye, and Punished Chubby Emu. Will the 4 of them keep up their streak forever? Mathematically impossible, but we can dream. You'll also notice that the highest person to never prize is still Stealthy Septile, so I think you guys should all start rooting for them too. Our previous highest rated 2-lifer, Cyan BM6SZ, prized, so the new one is my awesome fellow trial moderator Mazued in 32nd. Due to an excellent performance this round, Lego Birds 8 remains the highest placing 1-lifer, although followed closely by J-Dude, Feeble, and The Incident. The 4 of them all managed to place higher than our lowest placing 3-lifer, Dylan Morris Squared, who is really only as low as he is because he joined in round 2 and logged a DNP for the first round. Our highest placing dead contestant is, sadly, Beat Boy, and our lowest placing living contestant is Eddie Man Curly, who barely survived in the first round and has not responded since. I don't imagine he will be living much longer, but hey, he might surprise us. And one more placement factoid, the lowest placing contestant to respond to all 3 rounds was IRDM Wordle number 1686. A fitting end for the meme that has been bringing me so much torment. You will not be missed. In terms of new statistics, now that we have 3 rounds under our belt, I can start doing standard deviation, which means I can award a Consistency Master title. The current holder of this title is, as one might expect, Stonebone, who has prized every round. But more surprising is a random contestant in second, who's been in the 47 to 53% range in all 3 rounds so far and is still alive somehow. In fact, he's one of only 2 people in the top 20 of non-DNPers who aren't a 3 or 0-lifer, along with Eero, who's mostly in the same boat. On the opposite end of things, our least consistent non-DNPing player is Sorty, followed by Lashana Ball. The responses tied for the most votes were AA Clock and Leshy with 45, and the responses with the fewest votes were Punished Chubby Emu and Sinblitz again with 36. Science may never understand how he keeps doing it. The most controversial response was, say it with me, Eglet's Drugs, followed closely by Ribosphere's meta response about the drugs response. Also, the most controversial surviving response was My Sister, which I can only assume is due to a split between people who love their parents and people who don't. The least controversial response was Hitting the Fart Sack, which earned ubiquitous disapproval. And massive kudos to Marbles32 for making the podium and having the least controversial response out of everything that survived. The longest response was Cybercat's amazing 903 width non-joiners, which brought him up to the actual character limit of the form, and the longest surviving response was Convex at a completely reasonable 164. The shortest response was, say it with me, Eglet's Drugs at 6 characters, followed closely by Precisely, This Is Fine, Roll to Hit, and Chicken Tenda. The shortest surviving responses were Lee and Series, both of which I think are quite impressive achievements. And given how we're going to have a lot fewer responses next round, this may be the last time I do this, but I want to give you at least one more word count chart. Once again, we see the baffling trend of responses 1 under the word limit doing the best on average, outside of one random outlier with a small number of responses, this time 16 worders, of which there were only 5. I don't know what to make of this, man. This trend should not be this consistent. What is going on? One other thing I want to note is that this is the first and probably only time we'll ever have 2 people submit the exact same response word for word, varying only in their capitalization of the first letter of the sentence. Kalkvetch and Fickle Dickle Doo both submitted counting or not counting gang violence as their famous last words, and Kalkvetch placed 8 ranks higher based only on the capitalization. If there's any better evidence that proper capitalization boosts your response's score, I don't know what it is. Oh, and the Aridium's family section. It's actually completely flipped from last time. My dad and sister survived, and my mom was the only one who died. So now my parents are tied at 2 lives again. Yay! Okay, time for the round 4 prompt. Give a 1-star review for an item on eBay or a business on Yelp. I've gotten tired of changing the word count, so I'm just going to set it to 20 for the foreseeable future, but the deadline will remain weird. Thursday, May 14th at 8:47 p.m. or in about 7 days. The form to respond will be in the description. Here are your example responses. Thanks once more to the amazing digital Lemon Venom for drawing all the graphics.
Merge without looking.